Welcome in, Tuesday edition. Blue Sky Live here with you today. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio. Lead off with some baseball. Ole Miss picking up another portal commit yesterday. Isaac Humphrey, the outfielder out of Louisville. A lot of outfielders, catcher, shortstop, one pitcher. Where's the pitching going to come from? They're thinking maybe the Major League Baseball draft. So we'll touch on some draft stuff. It starts on Sunday for the first round. A little different schedule lately for baseball. I used to like it better when it was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever it was, kind of during the week. But they've reset it a little bit around the break now. And I don't blame them.
Trying to make it a bigger event.
Yeah, it makes sense. So we'll hit a little bit of that today and some other topics as well with you. Hope you have a wonderful morning. If you're coming to Oxford today, check out Blue Sky there on Highway 6 West. You can get ribs, pulled pork, plenty of lunch specials, $5.69, couple sides bread, any size fountain drink, and more clean convenience stores. Fill up on gas and plenty else. Wherever you are in Mississippi, there is a Blue Sky nearby, up and down I-55 throughout North Mississippi also. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. There's no hassle. There's no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest of it's kind of up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do. Let's hop into a Clark Ford today. You'll love the product. You'll love the service. Corey and the people at Clark Ford want to be your car guy. They want to be your truck guy. They'll prove to you what that means when you make the call. 662-257-1900. Guest join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. The Campbell Clinic is in Oxford now, 2608 South Lamar Boulevard, Suite 102, just across the street from the cottages at Hooper Hollow. The Campbell Clinic provides full-service orthopedic care, everything from sports medicine to foot and ankle surgery to spine, total joint care, pediatric orthopedics, physical therapy, and more. To book an appointment, go to campbellclinicoxford.com or call 901-759-3111. Walk-ins always welcome at the Campbell Clinic, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m.
It's a very July topic, but I ran across this morning. I'm just curious your take on it. Did you see the latest valuation on this new non-alcoholic beer, this athletic brewing that's been going around for 5, 6, 7 years?
No.
Up to $800 million in valuation, as I'm reading from the Wall Street Journal, their business section. Younger people, especially people in general, drinking less and moving away from some of the, I hate to call them fads, but things that peaked in the past. Craft beers, small craft breweries.
Be careful.
I know. Hard seltzers, which I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of, but you're not. But that's fine. We each have one there.
Yeah.
And then now, apparently, non-alcoholic beer, as I'm reading through this, this is endorsed, or at least partners include, probably, I think financial partners include J.J. Watt, Lance Armstrong. It's called Athletic Brewery because they think athletic is something you could hear across a crowded sports bar. It's not a complicated name. It's part of the reason that they went with that. But I'm checking out this, and again, they went to $800 million. It's now the number one non-alcoholic beer company in the country, or wherever we are here.
Okay.
A lot of different flavors. Like, if anything, if I have a negative, it's like there's like 15 flavors of this stuff. My thought to you is they have even like a double IPA on here, or like a hazy IPA or something. In what world would you go, hey, I want the taste so much, I'm going to do the non-alcoholic version? Does that exist for anything other? And I'm not making fun. Anything other than someone who's trying to stop drinking and needs the placebo of the effect of having the taste in their mouth?
I guess.
Yeah, like, what is the draw here? I'm legitimately asking because I don't like beer, so I'm not a good. I don't drink beer with alcohol very much. So
I mean, I'm sure there's the segment of the population that just loves the taste of it. I mean, I love the taste of it. I mean, I could see a world where I'm driving and I know I don't need to be drinking, so I'm not going to drink, but everybody else is having a beer. I'm the designated driver. I'll have a non-alcoholic beer so I can sort of trick my brain into thinking we're having a beer. Ginger mentions in the thread about being pregnant. I could see women who love beer when they're pregnant. They don't want to drink alcohol, but they don't want to give beer up, so they sort of...
I mean, look, mocktails have become more popular at restaurants.
Yeah.
You get the everything but the alcohol from it. Like, you get something kind of pretty in front of you.
Yeah.
Simulates it.
Yeah.
But that even feels different than I'm going to go buy a case of non-alcoholic beer. Right? I mean, I guess if I'm having like an event and I'm grilling or I'm at the pool or whatever and I do the thing.
I mean, maybe you're trying to drink less, but you want to continue to drink.
Yeah. And I guess that's my whole point here, and I'll move on in a minute. It doesn't really matter. But there's a large enough market for that person for what is closing on $1 billion valuation of a brewery. It's now one of the top 20 largest breweries in the country.
What's the caloric content?
I'll try to find that for you.
Because maybe that's part of it. You know, like all jokes aside, a typical pint of an IPA is probably pushing 200 calories. So maybe if you're going
it's 25 calories.
So maybe that's a lot of it. People are trying
they're light beer. So it's less, it's not even zero. It's less than 0.5 alcohol by volume. So it's basically zero, but it's not literally zero, which I don't know if you can have literally zero and still make beer using a method that makes beer because.
Duh.
Yeah.
Right.
It says that it uses
but you'd have to drink a ton of that to have
I mean for anybody who's like, I think a Bud Light is like 3.8%. So literally it would be 7 Bud Lights to get to one of these. Yeah.
You would be urinating so much that it just wouldn't really matter.
It would be very complicated to get drunk on these.
Because once you broke the seal.
I'm not sure Andre the Giant could get drunk on these.
Once you broke the seal.
Wade Boggs would have a hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says 25 calories, 5 grams of carbs in a light version.
That's probably a lot of it right there. Just people wanting to watch their weight,
Their raspberry sours, 90 calories.
I would just wonder if it
had hazy IPA is 70 calories.
Yeah, so you're cutting caloric intake by almost 200%,
which is substantial,
significant. I would question how you make that taste without it having an aftertaste.
I would say we could order some and taste test them on the show, but we're in Mississippi, so I don't know if we can, even at 0.5% alcohol. I'm not sure.
That would be a sin.
That might be too much alcohol to get shipped to our establishment here. I don't know.
You're asking a lot of the Postal Service at that point.
But we're talking about, let's see, we got Blackberry, Berliner Weiss, Layback Lime and Salt, just a light beer, Raspberry Sour, an IPA, a hazy IPA, a golden, a Mexican style copper, an extra dark, a lemon rattler. That actually might be okay by the pool though. Like I'm now you're getting into my area a little bit. An extra dark with coffee added.
Okay.
Another IPA, a Ghost, a West Coast style IPA, and then they appear to have a bunch of sparkling water flavors as well. Big variety.
Yeah.
I'm not convincing you to be in, but
I mean, I'm probably not in. But I mean, I'd try it. See, I'd be curious. Because I sometimes just like to have a beer. And so if you offered me a beer that was tasty and tasted like a beer and was 2/3 less calories and I didn't have to worry about the alcohol content, maybe I'd be interested. I don't know.
Well, I mean, your mom, gets a good point here. Here's an idea. Just drink a normal non-alcoholic drink. I mean, there's not much difference in this and just picking out your favorite LaCroix type seltzer and having at it in a way.
Just be responsible. I think
there was a non-alcoholic tequila. Now that really would be no-go. Like, what in the hell are we doing there?
Yeah, I mean, what does that mean? When you say it's a non-alcoholic bourbon, for example, it's like, well, so it's not bourbon. I'm not criticizing. Like, okay, but you can't make a non-alcoholic tequila. That doesn't exist. By definition, tequila is an alcoholic spirit.
Heineken and Budweiser had both tried to create non-alcoholic beer brands, but they have struggled. This one has surpassed them as the favorite of people.
I just don't know anybody who's like, you know what I really want today?
They sold more than 258,000 barrels last year.
I just don't know anyone. I really don't. And I don't know a lot of people, but I don't know anyone who's like, you know what I really want today? I want a Heineken, but without the alcohol. I've never met that person. And I'm not judging. If you exist, cool, man. I mean, you know me pretty well. People think I'm like this hardcore or whatever. No, I'm pretty live and let live. That's what makes you happy. Go for it.
Yeah, the Wall Street Journal says they've surged as Americans continue cutting back on alcohol, with younger Americans drinking the least. Non-alcoholic beer is now the fastest growing segment of the beer market, but overall beer sales are down as consumer tastes shift over the past decade.
I got to question something here.
Yeah, sure.
I live in a college town.
Yeah, sure.
And I have basically 2 college-age kids.
Yeah, sure.
The whole kids don't drink as much thing, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I was at Funky's the other day. I saw kids drinking. I'm not judging, by the way. Good for you. My kids drink. My kids drink. I'm not naive. I keep reading that. It's not my life experience. But now my life experience is Oxford and
probably not
Arkansas girls.
Yeah, and it just takes one segment of young people to alter the sales numbers. So
right.
Because it finishes up and it says over the past decade, the craft beer boom peaked, then the hard seltzer craze peaked. Now, in addition to alcohol-free beer, people are reaching for canned cocktails. Again, no interest. Just make a cocktail.
Yeah.
That means you don't like cocktails. Quit calling it a canned cocktail.
You just like sugary drinks.
Yes, that's fine.
And that's fine.
That's why people bastardize the old-fashioned. That's how we got there. But no, look, if you told me that is true, and maybe, again, I don't know. I'm with you. I see people drinking all the time. If you told me, though, that more people and younger people, frankly, I would even, I'm trying to think about this take for 5 seconds before I say it out loud, but I think I'm right. I think as YouTube and podcasts have become more prevalent, younger people, to a segment, have become more aware of health, of fitness, of the benefits from Whoops and things along those Oura rings, those kind of things, to where if you're listening to Rogan or watching 1,000 YouTube videos of all the fitness influencers in the right way, not the Instagram influencer types, you probably do start looking at your sleep and cutting back a little. And it's possible that in your 20s, for a responsible segment of the population, that is some semblance of a change that would affect overall sales.
Yeah.
Because that probably didn't exist 15 years ago in the same way. So if you're just rating young people versus young people in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I'm grading it against other 21 to 30-year-olds or whatever it is that they're
Well, that's true.
doing.
I mean, like, the following is not a criticism.
Okay.
I don't like Michelob Ultra. I would rather just have a water. But you do see a lot of
I see a lot of
young people drinking Michelob Ultra.
It's because it's light on calories.
Yeah. So they're trying to
male, female.
They're probably trying to thread the needle to some degree of successfully. I don't like the taste of it. And it might be because I grew up in an era where that wasn't available. That if you had a beer, that the 70 calorie or whatever beer really didn't exist.
So I'm done. That was it. But I found it really interesting. Keurig Dr. Pepper has invested more than $50 million in it as a minority.
Keurig Dr. Pepper?
The company, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm sorry.
Not Dr. Pepper flavored Keurig products.
I was like, wait, what? I was about to have an old man moment.
Yeah, go down to the shelf. You're going to see coffee flavored Dr. Pepper.
I was going to say, but why?
No, Keurig Dr. Pepper, the company.
Sometimes why is a really good question. But why? No, I can see that.
Okay.
I mean, like a lot of the girls' friends, if they're having beer, it's Michelob Ultra.
Is it?
Yeah, and so that's clearly a nod towards, calories and health and such. Again, not a criticism. I just don't like it. I've tried.
What do you see from your kids' friends, though? Mostly seltzers?
Yeah, lots of seltzers.
Because High Noon is basically taking over the market.
Yeah, so you got the High Noon, you got the
and it is better than a White Claw or other options.
Up there in Northwest Arkansas, they have what they call Scarlet Letters.
Okay.
A lot of those. The new thing is the mom waters. Have you seen those?
I haven't seen this. No.
So they have mom waters, which are vodka.
Okay.
And they have dad waters, which are tequila.
Okay. All right.
Like Laura likes the mom waters.
Okay. I would prefer the vodka to the tequila.
I haven't tried it.
Because I don't like the tequila flavored High Noon. Is it High Noon that does the tequila flavors? I think it's High Noon.
Know. I've tried all the High Noons and stuff. I just don't like them. They don't do any. I don't enjoy them in any form. So I just like that. I move on from them.
Yeah, as regular size Ben says, yeah, Dr. Pepper has surpassed Pepsi as the number 2 soft drink in the country.
I did hear that.
Yeah. And I buy that. I mean, I don't know a ton of people that, like, not that I have no anecdotal, but in my head, a lot of people go, hey, I'm going to go grab the Pepsi. Like, it's obviously still very, very popular, but
sure,
in my mind, that's not what most people would do.
No, like if the only time I ever have a soda is like if I have a really bad headache coming on, sometimes a soda can take the sting out of it, and I'll go get a Coke.
A regular full-leaded Coke.
A full-leaded Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Kyle, thanks for Super Chat. If MPW Digital had a beer, what would it be? I would have to let Neal design our beer that we would start marketing and producing.
My favorite beer is a pale ale. Not an IPA, but a pale ale.
Is it really?
Yeah. Love it. My problem is that I like most everything. There aren't many beers that I don't like.
There really isn't. You're pretty up and down the...
You can throw a porter at me, I'm good. Sour, I'm probably pretty good. Pilsners, I like them. IPAs, I'm pretty equal opportunity when it comes to beer. It's not good. It's not good. Oktoberfest, sure.
Dan Hurley got paid last couple of minutes before we go to break. We'll come back and talk some baseball. Less than the Lakers were theoretically going to pay him. As time passes, that was the best PR marketing thing that has happened for a person in sports in decades.
I don't believe that was ever a serious.
I do not. I don't think he ever really considered or really had an offer for that job. I think that was a win-win for everyone with a wonderful backroom deal of I'm going to help you. You're going to get paid. You're going to get to turn down the Lakers, and you're going to buy me time to hire JJ Redick and also help me PR-wise because I went after you, publicly got humiliated, which lets me hire the guy that's never coached above youth basketball. Brilliant. And yes. I think I'm right.
I do too, and I think they had a couple of journalists in on it.
Do you really?
Yes, including a prominent NBA journalist. And I think this happens in the college game too, especially with basketball, where a candidate gets to be public, utilize that publicity as leverage at his or her current gig, and buy time for the other school to make the hire that they're trying to make. I think that happens in the college level on occasion as well. I can think of a couple of examples that are rolling through my mind right now that I'm just not getting into, but and where there's a level of plausible deniability throughout the whole thing. So that,
yeah.
So that if anybody ever decided, hey, we're going to really dig into this,
it'd be hard to prove.
Well, like Jeannie Buss, for example, I do think she wanted the Lakers to hire Hurley. And so if Danny Hurley had said, you know what, screw it, I do want to coach the Lakers, maybe it would have happened. But I don't really think that was ever the intention, which is fine. It doesn't matter. If the Lakers felt like, hey, we have to put on a dog and pony show before we hire JJ Redick, okay. I do think for the Lakers a little bit, some of it was, hey, maybe we buy a little bit of time and Tyronn Lue changes his mind and leaves the Clippers and comes and coaches us. So maybe there was a lot there. But I don't think Danny Hurley and the Lakers were ever really close to consummating that.
It should happen more, frankly, because perception matters so much in the early stages of these things.
Yeah.
To where
Ole Miss did that with Hugh Freeze. Ole Miss hired Hugh Freeze in October.
Yeah.
But they had to do the dog and pony show.
They were never hiring Larry Fedora.
No. They let Fedora play the game to get a little better deal out of North Carolina.
And he did.
And to make it look like, hey, we really did a search. No, you hired Hugh Freeze in October.
Yeah. Got paid.
Hell yeah.
6-year, $50 million contract.
Me and Danny Hurley today.
There you go. Look. Let's just send his in Venmo. Ding. There you go. He will receive $6.375 million next season, in addition to his $400,000 base annual salary, which includes compensation from speaking, consulting, and media obligations. That's a good structure there. Your base is $4 million, but you signed a $50 million $400,000, but you signed a $50 million contract for 6 years. There's some financial games being played in the way that's funded.
It's kind of like the Shohei Ohtani contract.
Oh, the deferred.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's funny about that? I saw this last night. The Dodgers don't have a top 5 payroll, and it's because they have so much deferred money.
Yeah.
That technically they're not one of the top 5 payrolls in the game.
They're leaving that for somebody else one day.
Yes, it will be somebody else's problem at some point. Yeah, the top 5 payrolls were Mets, Yankees, Rangers, Astros,
Phillies.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. Those were the ones. So, all right. Speaking of baseball, let's come back to them in a second. First, podcast brought to you by the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation. They want to thank you for the incredible 2023, 2024 athletics season, because none of this is possible without you, the fans. Fall sports are right around the corner. They can't wait to see you back on campus soon. 2024 men's and women's basketball season tickets and donation renewal deadlines. That's coming up August 31st. Also, if you want to get priority points before your seat or parking selections, you can call the foundation. You can get on that. That's 662-915-7159. And for further information, visit give2athletics.com. That's GIVETO athletics.com.
Apologize, I lost my place. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with the personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Seago Wealth Management specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting and see what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. Brought to you by Grenada Home Center. They've got paints by Benjamin Moore, Pittsburgh Paints, Farrell Calhoun, flooring of any and all types, stone countertops, whether you're looking for granite, quartz, or anything else. And they've got window treatments from plantation shutters to whatever else suits your fancy. It's Grenada Home Center, 1301 Sunset Drive, Suite H in Grenada. Call them at 662-226-3127. We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, different name, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern, 662-429-4429. The College Corner is the place to go if you're getting your Ole Miss gear for the upcoming football season. They've got 2 locations in the Jackson area, one in Oxford, just off of Sisk Avenue in the Oxford Commons. They also are available online at collegecornerstore.com. We'll be talking more about them as we get closer to the season. When you work with Argent Wealth's 401k advisory services, you gain a valuable advisory services team and time-saving resource that will help you develop and maintain a solid strategy for your retirement plan. They're committed to providing you with the personalized attention and involvement that you want and need. Their goal is to help you manage your 401k plan properly and ultimately improve your employees' retirement readiness. It's myargentwealth.com.
So, Ole Miss picking up a commitment yesterday, as I mentioned at the Open. Isaac Humphrey from Louisville played right field for 3 seasons for the Cardinals. He is technically draft eligible, but I saw David Seifert of D1 Baseball say probably fine to stay in college. Ole Miss has signed 3 outfielders so far from a portal standpoint. Mitchell Sanford, who started his career at LSU, ended up at UNO here this past season. He was Southland Conference Player of the Year. And then Ryan Moorman from Illinois. I think he had 19 home runs for the Illini last year as well. Those in addition to Illinois State shortstop Luke Chang, BYU catcher Colin Reuter, and then St. Joseph's Will McCausland. That's interesting as a total list because there is only one pitcher on that list. Ole Miss obviously needs more arms than that. They lose Liam Dole to the portal, Wes Mendez to the portal. Showed up yesterday, by the way. I know it was shocking. And
really?
Then, yeah. Holiday slowed it down. Happened to show up yesterday. Damn mistake.
But
it was a developing story. But apparently
that was a developing story.
It was, yes. But apparently he did, in fact, get acclimated.
And then that
into
story got deleted as if it didn't happen, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yes. So, they got to find arms somewhere.
By the way, I hate that.
Go ahead.
I hate that. This is a journalism thing.
Yeah.
And if you feel targeted, you are. Don't write that it's a developing story. And then when you realize that, no, you're completely wrong, just delete it. Come back and go, you know what? I was wrong. It wasn't a developing story. I'm an idiot. I'm not going to question the guy who actually talked to the player in question. That's it. Just journalism 101. If you're going to question a report that's first person directly sourced, okay. But don't back away from it later. Just, you were wrong.
Yeah, I talked to Wes on Wednesday morning. It's when he got into the portal thing, whatever day it closed. I don't know. It's all running together. Tuesday. I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah, it was Wednesday because the portal closed Tuesday night at midnight. So it was Wednesday morning.
Sure.
At that point,
because the 4th was Thursday.
He was having a little bit of second thoughts, but at no point did I think he was going. Because look, there are two parts here. And it was the reason that I got a little frustrated with the whole deal was a player can get in the portal and then return back to his school.
Sure.
That doesn't change that he did get in the portal.
Sure.
Those are two totally different things.
Sure.
So if it's, hey, Wes Mendez is considering this, maybe he comes back. Okay, cool, sweet. I mean, yes,
sure.
that was correct.
It happens.
But
rarely, but happens.
But it does not appear that's to be the case. He's going to head elsewhere. My guess would be Florida State. He has family that's alums there. He's from the state of Florida.
Sure.
That's what feels right there with
but
Mendez.
The point was that you talked to him.
I did. He confirmed.
And
he
said, yeah, I got in the portal.
He did.
And it takes a minute for the paperwork to happen. And then you have a holiday, the 4th of July. Nobody's working at Ole Miss or Florida
Probably
State
on Thursday or Friday.
Or the NCAA. And let's face it, most people took either Wednesday off or Friday off. And then you had Saturday and Sunday. So it stood to reason. In fact, you had a source who told you, hey, it's going to show up on Monday.
Yeah.
Because that's just how it works. There's some paperwork. It's not like, I always use this example. Michael Scott in the office when he declared bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And he just goes, I declare bankruptcy. It's not like that. You don't go, I'm in the portal. And boom.
Yeah, someone has to actually do it.
Well, it's a process. There's papers, and it must be sent through kind of the clearinghouse thingy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get in the portal, and there's either a do not contact or an open contact or whatever tag on it.
Yeah, sure.
There is a process. It's not a, hey, you know what? I had a bad afternoon.
It's not a verbal commitment.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's not a verbal commitment.
A non-binding verbal commitment. It's not that. It's just it's a process of getting into the portal. It takes a minute. And if there's a holiday involved, it takes a couple minutes.
So they're on some portal pitchers. They have money. I mean, that's the like I said the other day. It's the very, very, very small silver lining to this, but it is a silver lining to this. Is when you lose guys that you were paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to collectively, you have hundreds of thousands of dollars now to fill your class.
Right.
They've done a pretty good job in the outfield. I think they're going to be better. Okay, at catcher. I think they've done a good job there. But they got to have arms. And it appears that a lot of their strategy is seeing if they can keep players from going pro and let that fill a lot of their roster. Again, I do still think they're going to add arms from the portal, but there's a lot of emphasis, too, on does Riley Maddox come back? Does Mason Nichols come back? Do you find a way to get Hunter Elliott back? What's Xavier Rivas going to do? It's that has become the transition conversation to what does that look like from those at this point.
It's an interesting strategy.
Especially when you look at, I said this in maybe the mailbag or maybe just in a post on the board. It's kind of like it's the college version of when pro teams really respect management of teams and they don't really want to trade with you if you want to get rid of a guy or whatever. They kind of look at you and go, whoa, I don't know, something's up here. I think the portal version of that is when you let players go, where do they end up? Because, early on, Ole Miss had guys go to La Tech and Missouri State and whatever. You go, okay, like,
sure.
Clearly they went down levels or to different situations or whatever.
There was a consensus of opinion at your level.
Yeah, nobody went whatever. But when you look back at what's going on with the pitching staff right now, and JT Quinn goes to Georgia,
mm-hmm.
I think he has talent. I think he's a guy that could emerge at some point. Grayson Saunier has legitimate offers. TCU is the leader for him. That's a really good spot for him, by the way. If I'm Grayson and I were advising him, That's a big ballpark. That's a league that's not quite the SEC and the Big 12. Like that feels like a really good spot for him right there. But Texas has interest in Saunier.
Yeah.
There's some guys that are in on him at that point. Liam Dole's visiting Tennessee with Fisher. Kind of instrumental in this whole process as to what has happened. Mendez is going to end up at a power school. That's the pause here is when you look around and you're losing these guys off a team that frankly wasn't very good last year, and then they're going to power programs, and you're going
not only to power programs, but programs that won the national title or went to basically the Sweet 16, and
Georgia was an inning or two away. I mean, it's
Georgia was in the Sweet 16.
Yeah,
they just don't call it that, but that's what it is.
Yeah, those are the reasons why I kind of look and go, it's going to be a very enlightening 10 months. I guess that's my point, is you're watching this play out in real time, and if these guys get somewhere else and they kind of bomb or whatever, and you go, okay, fine, whatever. Because that happens.
Sure.
Or is it,
Well, and Rivas is coming back from an injury. Elliott hasn't pitched in forever.
And here's the deal.
I mean, and those guys, like.
There is renewed optimism. Real quick, I'll go through this. There's renewed optimism on Maddox. It sounds like people are expecting him to probably come back. I have not talked to Riley. I do not know that firsthand. I think he's a very legitimate day 2, day 3 starter. The sinker plays. You can do some stuff there. I don't like him on Friday, but I like him on Saturday or Sunday. Elliott has not thrown a competitive pitch since opening day 2023 against Delaware. That's the last time he threw a competitive pitch.
Yeah.
His process to come back, even beyond the timeline being extended from the hybrid procedure, has been a little slow. I think he got shut down at one point from a bullpen standpoint. It's just taken some time there.
Yeah.
And then Rivas, I talked to him a couple months ago. He's going to the doctor on Thursday. He didn't have that surgery until February. And he told me himself, I've got to be 100% at the start of next season to come back, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. I come back and I'm still not sharp, and I'm just sort of wasting away at that point. So my gut is that if Rivas gets any deal at all that feels good from a professional standpoint, he is going to sign. That is my gut feeling. And Elliott, I talked to multiple scouts who think that because of a couple different pelts he has on the wall. Number one, Team USA. So he's been scouted at the national world level. And then 2, he's been obviously a big game national title winning pitcher that has evidence in the SEC as a freshman.
Sure.
Those things will carry him to where, think Rangers, Phillies, the teams we're talking about that have big payrolls, they don't care about $200,000. Right. That doesn't exist for them.
Sure.
So I will be interested to see if either on day 3 or on rounds like 7 through 10, if a team takes Elliott and goes, hey, can we bargain shop you right here? Will you take it and start your career? My gut is yes. But again, I could be wrong, because if it's just about money, the collective can pay $200,000 and keep him.
This is unpopular what I'm about to say. I know.
But my gut is he will start his professional career. It's just my gut. I have not talked to Hunter, but it's how I feel.
If I were advising either of them, knowing what I know, which is not everything, my advice to them would be, look, if you get a decent deal and a pro organization that's going to bring you in and go, okay, deep breath, exhale, let's figure this out. We've got time. Because if you're like Phillies, okay, either guy. If you're the Phillies and at some point in the next 4 years, he throws a major league pitch for you, it was worth it. Right?
Oh, I mean, 1,000%.
If you're Ole Miss, I need you pitching in February.
Yeah.
March at the latest. There's just such a hurried, rushed deal.
Yeah. Hey, Texas is coming in March 10th, guys. We got to get going.
Yeah, the collective can throw a bunch of money at him, but then what? As opposed to a pro organization where, hey, we're going to give you not as much, but we're going to give you some money. But we're going to also let you take the foot completely off the accelerator. We're going to take our time. And if you throw a major league pitch before you turn 26, you're good. It all worked out. And then you're on your path to a major league career and a contract and blah, blah, blah. I'll be surprised if either of them are here. And then if they are, it becomes a story of, okay, are you rushing them? Can you get them ready? And with Hunter, you got to think there's a good bit of rust.
Revis pointed out to me that of people that Keith Meister, who's become kind of the top elbow guru in Major League Baseball, he was the Rangers orthopedic surgeon.
Yep.
He did the procedure and on Elliott and Revis. And Revis's quote to me was, quote, "It seems that professional is the easier rehab route because spring training is later and you don't have to be ramped up. It's just getting ready for the season. The college games where every game matters, you have to be 100%, and intra-squad start 11 months after my surgery. Pro teams can bump you a little bit." He points out that
Pro teams
people
can bump you a lot,
a year, and people that
they can just do extended spring where you go to instructs and you're.
It doesn't matter. You're on the backfield like DeLucia, just throwing around.
Well, like if you're, I'm using the Cubs as an example because I know their deal. They have like intra-squad things in Mesa for rehabbing guys all the time. Like, and you don't have to play a 9-inning game. It can be, hey, we're going to play a 2-inning game.
Yeah,
and it's not even going to be a real game.
Yeah, we don't care.
We're going to get you. And we're not. This, no one's ever going to know about this unless we tell them.
He points out that of people Meister has operated on at the highest level, the only one to come back in less than 14 months, 100% full speed, is Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And he's a freak.
He's a freak.
So expecting that is not the norm. Again, we'll find out on Thursday. He goes to the doctor. We'll talk about it. But point being here, there's a lot of pressure on Ole Miss getting back Nichols and Maddox at least. Yeah. Got to have arms. Got to have dudes. I really like their freshman class, but it's not full of just, oh, my God, he's an impact arm. The Townsend kid is really good from California. Santa Margarita, I think is where he's from. Callie McDaniel from ESPN had him 228 on his prospect list this morning. I've been told his signability is a little tricky for Ole Miss, though, that he will jump if the number is at all right there. But they need him on campus because I thought and I've talked about this, I thought they put a really good group together for having college success, guys that really present and show well at the college level without being these premier freak shows that the draft's going to love and go pay a ton of money to, because they've got a lot of right-handed guys. I think that plays. They got a lot of shorter guys. In some ways, they're unlucky with Slade Caldwell because he's not a big guy at all, and teams just still love him. I mean, McDaniel had him at 41, but that probably is even later that he's going to get drafted. I like the Diamondbacks to take him at 27 or 31.
The Athletic this morning had him, I want to say it was Keith Law.
Really high?
Like they had him at 11.
Did they really?
Not in a mock draft, but in ranking prospects.
Really?
Yeah, they love him.
Yeah, so...
I mean, if you're counting on that one,
no,
I don't know what to tell you.
It's the annual thing of, I get it, and anybody who doesn't do it for a living, you should ask the question. But it's like when they show up for summer school, and you go, okay.
It's leverage.
That is simply one step in the very, very, very long process there as this thing plays out. I tell you who did get a good grade from, I think it was Callie McDaniel this morning. I'm reading from ESPN, so I'm assuming it was him, is Connor Griffin from Jackson Prep, the LSU commit.
Yeah.
Which is irrelevant because he is going pro. He compares him to Fernando Tatis Jr. is his comp. Which is, number one, that's a comp. And then if it doesn't work out, because what he's doing for the top 15 or so prospects is, hey, what's worst case if this thing is not whatever? His worst case, he doesn't correct his swing and either shifts full-time to pitching or is a role player with big tools. That's the worst case.
Yeah. Everything I hear about that kid,
wow,
I'd buy his stock.
Yeah. But he has Caldwell at 41.
Very coachable. Yeah. LSU's never going to see.
No.
Unless he comes to a football game.
You don't have to worry about facing him at the box next season.
No.
It's going to be okay.
No.
Jay Johnson's not even expecting that one in his dreams at night. He's going to call Connor next Sunday and congratulate him. Yeah. Tell him thank you for everything and good luck with the Twins or whoever.
He gave up on him more than a year ago.
Yeah.
That's a name that hasn't crossed his mind in a long time.
Yeah. So, no, look, those pitchers are very, very important. It does look like Ole Miss is going to get Owen Pano, the shortstop out of Poughkeepsie, New York. He can play a lot of positions. Wouldn't shock me if he played some outfield early on if they need it. Because they signed these three outfielders, but they don't have a center fielder. So they got to figure out, are you moving Luke Hill out there? Or are you moving Pano out there? What are you doing to play center field? And Mike's not at all bashful about that. He constantly moves infielders to outfield, especially to center early in their career before they play. You look at Tim Ferguson, you look at Anthony Servideo, look at Jordan Henry. He signed as a shortstop out of high school, out of Vicksburg. So there's some flexibility there, but I do really, really like the class. Now, do you have time for it to develop? That's the story. It's what I wrote about last week. But as far as just trying to piece this thing together, you better get these pitchers, and then you still got work to do. You got a lot of work to do from the portal standpoint, because I'm not even sure Chang is your starting shortstop every single day. He's got to show he can stay healthy. He's got to show that some semblance of what he did last year at Illinois State while he was healthy can convert to the SEC, which is a humongous jump there from the leagues. So
Yes,
we'll see.
we see that a lot.
We do. If you're just interested, Charlie Condon, the number one prospect in the country, is where McDaniel has it. He has Bazana at Oregon State, number 2.
Can't argue that.
Has J.J. Weatherholt, the shortstop at West Virginia, number 3. Has Caglione at number 4.
Yeah.
If you have the 4th pick and you end up with him, you're probably okay.
Oh, I mean,
his doesn't work out as his chase rate derails his career, sending him into a tools stats disconnect journeyman career.
I mean, I guess.
Again, you're looking at what could go wrong.
Sure. I mean, he could get struck by lightning. I mean, bad things happen, but I'd bet on that guy.
He also can hit both. He hit 19 home runs against lefties and 16 against right-handers. He doesn't have a platoon issue.
He's a beast.
It won't shock me if he has the better career between he and Condon.
They're both going to have really good careers. They're both going to have really good careers. I mean, they are. They're both exceptional hitters. Condon was such a late bloomer that people are still sort of trying to find a negative there. Watch him play. The dude he's terrific.
I don't like...
He destroyed SEC pitching. Nobody destroys SEC pitching, and he did.
Unless it's a Skeens type deal. I don't love drafting pitching, but getting Chase Burns at 5 or 6 would be very compelling for a team. Sits 96 to 100.
Oh, he's
got off speed for days.
He's terrific.
Like it's his worst case is he turns into a reliever. That's worst case.
Skeens' deal, and I realize he's a freak.
Yeah.
But his deal's probably got people rethinking some of it because he was he's on the All-Star team. I mean, he's in the Cy Young conversation. As a rookie, he pitched at LSU last year. He's 13 months removed from college, and he's on a Major League Baseball All-Star team with electric numbers.
Oh, there's a real argument for him to start the All-Star game.
If I'm baseball, I want him to.
Mm-hmm. Did you see his girlfriend's headed back to LSU for another season?
Saw that.
There's more money in the college game if you're a gymnast.
Yeah, I mean, her deal on social media is crazy.
It's nuts. Hagen Smith, number 8 overall.
Another guy who could be pitching in the majors pretty quick. There's not a hell of a lot of development to be done with him.
Braden Montgomery, number 9.
Yeah. The moral of the story is the SEC is really good.
Christian Moore, number 12.
There you go.
That's not the worst 12th overall pick you will have seen in the past.
Christian Moore?
Years. Yeah.
No, he'll be in the bigs fairly quickly.
That's such a value right there.
Huge.
Oh my God!
And could play outfield, could play second base. All the tools.
Ryan Walshman of Kentucky, 15. Just running to the top 30 or so.
A guy that had he played in 6 other leagues would have been the unanimous player of the year.
Yeah. Got lost.
And got completely overshadowed in the SEC because of Condon and Caglione.
Jerangelo Sente out of state, the ambidextrous pitcher, 21. Brody Breck, 23, the Iowa pitcher that throws the hell out of it, doesn't know where it's going. Dakota Jordan, Mississippi State, 27. So the Bulldogs there with 2 of the top 27.
Yeah.
Tommy White at 29. Billy Amick at 36. I'm kind of cut the SEC numbers there. So draft on Sunday.
Yeah.
But look, here's the part as we wrap this part of it. Ole Miss doesn't have a current player draft eligible in the top 250. State had 2 of the top 27.
Yeah, I've got a mailbag question. Like, what happened? The
they
answer
weren't
is,
good enough.
The answer is they just weren't very talented.
Yeah.
I told you this during the season.
And the talent that I do think is there was not developed.
Yeah. And I don't know
it's chicken or egg, but there is more talent than they showed. Every team in the country recruiting these kids didn't miss.
Right.
You've got top 100 prospects out of high school.
Yeah. And so there's a mailbag
question.
They
didn't all bomb.
There's a mailbag question that I don't know the answer to. And it's going to read like a cop-out, but I don't know the answer. I'm not going to guess. But my guess is that it's more development than it is anything else. And I don't know who that's on. I don't. I mean, at the end of the day, it's on the head coach. But where does it really fall? I don't know.
Well, and the speed of having to fix it quickly, because as I keep writing, they don't have time. This isn't a reset where you take 3 or 4 seasons to fix this thing.
I wouldn't think.
No, it's just not at all.
I mean, and the league's not getting any worse. In fact, if you look at transfer portal classes, the league's going to get better.
That's the thing. That's the part that even for me, no one knows, because I can look at that. I was asked this morning, one of our mutual friends texted me this morning and said, hey, this roster, if you got this or whatever, it's okay, right? And I was like, it was fine 5 years ago. I don't know, because I don't know what the baseline is anymore for what a good SEC roster looks like. Does that make sense?
Sure. Well, you're not the only one improving in a vacuum.
Yeah, everybody's getting so much better and so quickly.
Right.
Because they're just stealing the best players from every other team in the country.
It's the part like
so I don't know.
It's the basketball conversation that I had with someone yesterday where they're like, don't you think Ole Miss is going to be better? And I said, yes, I absolutely think they're going to be better. Are they going to be better enough? Well, I don't know. How good did the rest of the league get? Because while you're improving, it's not like Kentucky and Alabama and Auburn and Tennessee and Florida and Arkansas and Missouri are going, okay, well, we're cool with what we've got. No, they're trying to get better too. And in most cases, they did get better.
Because look, I appreciate the people at 64 Analytics. It's a great site.
Sure.
I have no idea how right or wrong their rankings are.
They probably don't either.
But
I mean, they put a lot of effort into it.
Sure, yeah. I appreciate everything they do. I'm looking at it right now. But from their rankings, Ole Miss is 6 incoming players in the transfer portal rankings for whatever. Now there's thousands of players.
Sure.
Isaac Humphrey, 48. It's their highest ranked player. Ryan Moorman, 90. Mitchell Sanford, 111. Will McCausland, 172. Colin Reuter, 234. And Luke Chang, 1,452.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
but
there's
that's not like, oh, my God, they're overtaking the league now.
No. I mean, there's margin of error in that, of course.
Oh, sure.
I mean, you know.
Like 48's good. Humphrey's a good player.
Yeah.
I think Sanford has a chance to be a really good player.
And the point that I assume you're getting to is if you look at their rankings of incoming classes, there's a lot of schools in the league that have better ranked incoming classes than Ole Miss does.
In the portal, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Ole Miss's high school class is damn good.
Yeah. So you got to – those guys have to contribute immediately. Or you're in trouble probably.
I mean, Ole Miss is ranked 27th in portal class.
What's the rest of the league? Auburn's 1, is that right?
Tennessee's 1. LSU's 1. LSU's 1, Georgia's 2, Arkansas's 3, Kentucky's 4, Alabama's 9, State's 10, Auburn's 14, South Carolina 17, Vanderbilt 23, Florida 25, A&M 28. I'm still scrolling. I mean, okay. Texas 42.
Where's Tennessee?
They're not in the top 50.
Of course, they're going to add a couple here soon.
They're not in the top 50.
Yeah.
And I think Fisher's the number 1 or number 2 player remaining in the portal.
He's going to Tennessee.
Tennessee pre-portaled him, and barring some financial implication otherwise, I would assume so, yes.
He was pre-portaled by multiple schools.
He was, but that was the
main one.
That was the one that got the ball rolling.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think his initial list was Tennessee, Florida, and Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's right.
Yep.
Cade Fisher at Florida is the number 1 player in the portal. He hasn't chosen a school yet. Fisher, number 2. Thatcher Hurd at LSU, number 3.
Yeah.
Tennessee picked up Gavin Klein, who was number 4 in the portal from Louisville, their shortstop.
Yeah.
Louisville getting gutted. Welcome to not being in the SEC and not having the money to keep your guys.
Yeah.
It's why I understand the frustration, but like Cliff's got to hush. Like you're at East Carolina, like you're just gonna get robbed. Take a gig. Understand what you're doing and try to maximize it the best you can, or take another gig because it's not going to get better. No, if anything, it's going to get worse.
I mean, yelling at a kid for leaving to go to Arkansas to pitch to make probably $500,000. I mean,
yeah.
Look, you can be like me and think the system is stupid, and I do openly think the system is stupid.
Sure.
But at the same time, I don't blame the kids. That's the part that people get confused when I say it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not criticizing the kids for taking the money.
No.
Like I said this the other day. You can't, and to our subscribers and listeners' credit, I think 90-something% of the people agree with what I'm about to say. You can't celebrate, quote, stealing Walter Nolan from Texas A&M and then lose your what when Andrew Fisher gets stolen from you by Tennessee.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways. And to our listeners and subscribers'
everybody
credit,
gets it.
They get it.
Yeah.
What's crazy, Chase, is I'm not sure some of the people who coach in these jobs get it.
Yeah. They're like emotion and frustration.
And so, it's like I mean, am I accusing Ole Miss of pre-portaling Walter Nolan? Not really, but kind of. And I don't blame anybody. If you're not pre-portaling, whatever. Isn't that funny?
What's it said?
Just call it what it is.
Teams
if you're not
in the College World Series were getting commitments while they were playing.
Yeah.
You think they hadn't already reached out to those cats?
Of course. And if you didn't, you're a fool.
Yeah. So,
I mean, everyone's tampering.
Yeah. I think it's Virginia that got to commit while they were on the field. Okay. So, all right.
Grind asked a question. We'll take this. We'll transfer this into the next segment. We'll touch on this. He says, do y'all agree with Tyler Siskey, who hosts McCready and Siskey with me, that FSU, Florida State, and Clemson are coming to the SEC? Tyler thinks it's getting announced soon. So he says, do you agree with it? He says, I hope he's wrong. We'll touch on that on the other side.
Okay. We'll come back and talk about that. Prime Shrimp, primeshrimp.com. Look, it's going to be August before we know it. It's going to be busy. Got school back in session. Got a lot of stuff going on where you need some quick dinners at night. Prime Shrimp can help you out. It's a restaurant-quality shrimp from the New Orleans-based company. We're going to make it cheap on you. You buy 5 pouches or more. They got a lot of options. Try a few of all of them. Get your favorite and stick to it. Full meals in a bag. A lot of stuff there for you with Prime Shrimp. Use code RG. You get 25% off when you buy those 5 pouches or more. They deliver directly to your door. And like wine and stuff, you can get those delivered in Mississippi right to your door. Fewer than 10 minutes, freezer to plate, and that takes care of lunches, dinners, quick protein snacks, and much more. Tastes great. It's easy. It's there for you. So again, primeshrimp.com, code RG for 25% off.
We're also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. I've been working with John about a trip for next summer for quite some time. It's been made it a lot easier. It would be overwhelming to try to do it by myself. With John, it's made it quite simple. I think we're closing in on sort of knowing what we might be able to do. So he can do that for you as well. Just get in touch with him. Give him some parameters. Give him a budget. He's going to give you some options, some ideas that you might not find on your own. It's 901-494-3387 or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. Oxford's Greek restaurant on the square, Opa, is the perfect place to plan your company Christmas party, your company dinner, your festive party event. It'll be the Christmas season before you know it, so you do want to start thinking about those things if you're planning a big event. They can accommodate up to 200 guests, fabulous food, great craft libations as well. Contact Jeannie at 601-421-7147. We're also brought to you by Service Specialist Staffing and Recruiting Agency. We told you yesterday about if you're looking for a job, it's always free for the candidate. If your company is looking to hire quality, hard-to-find talent, Service Specialists can help you as well. Keep in mind that payment of service is solely contingent on if you decide to hire a candidate that they send. You've got nothing to lose, so give Will, Sydney, or Kelsey a call at 601-573-9242 or check out their new and improved website, servicespecialistltd.com. Get the beautiful and healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take a first step towards a better version of yourself at corinthdental.com. The Franchise of the Month competition just got posted to rebelgrove.com. So go check that out if you are a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, give it a shot. rebelgrove.com will have coverage of SEC Media Days starting on Sunday in Dallas, and then obviously launching into preseason camp, the much anticipated season. But speaking of myperfectfranchise.net, are you a displaced corporate executive wanting to put your career in your own hands? Are you an experienced entrepreneur looking to diversify? Either way, Andy Ludicky can help. He is a longtime Rivals board member. He owns multiple franchises and businesses, uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. So call Andy, put your life, your career in your own hands. It's 100% free. You've got nothing to lose. Find your perfect franchise at myperfectfranchise.net. Contact Andy anytime at andy@myperfectfranchise.net or at 404-973-9901.
So, what defines soon? What do you think?
I mean, Tyler thinks that an announcement as early as in the next 7 days
To go into effect next season.
I would assume so. I said this yesterday. So I used to be kind of obsessed with this and talk to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't.
It was sort of your thing for a little while. You liked this.
Well, I was on top of the Texas-Oklahoma thing. I mean, I knew it was kind of coming. I didn't know it was coming that day, but I knew that was the direction the league wanted to go. I've known for years, this is not a secret, that the SEC covets North Carolina and Virginia.
Yeah,
or
sure.
did.
Sure.
Now, maybe that's changed in the last year. I really haven't worked on this. I mean, I say worked on this. I just haven't talked to people. I haven't dug around and bugged people. As of a year ago, the SEC didn't have a lot of interest in Florida State or Clemson. Now, some of that was before the Big Ten thing with USC and UCLA and then Washington and Oregon. And we've clearly had this kind of cataclysmic shift in college athletics, where the Big Ten is at 18, and there's a lot of rumors about them going to 20, 22, what Notre Dame might ultimately decide to do. Maybe that has shifted things in the league office as it pertains to Clemson, to Florida State. It had always been my understanding that the SEC was more interested in North Carolina and Virginia, maybe even Duke, maybe even Kansas, than it was Florida State and Clemson. But again, that I could be wrong. That could have changed. We talk about this all the time. Things do change. Sometimes something that is true on February the 1st is not true on August the 1st.
Sure. Well, and look, I'm not saying it wouldn't turn out to be a much better deal and ESPN would go, hey, here's our entire pot of gold, the whole thing. I don't know the answer to that. But going past 16 is much more complicated because the SEC, and we talked about this at the time, and I got a little refresher last week when we were looking at some of the stuff with all this conversation. Keith might have even mentioned it on the podcast. I'm not sure. But there was language inside the SEC rights agreement that if they added 2 schools, the SEC would simply make sure shares were not diluted, create more pieces of pie, and everybody would still get the same exact money despite there being 2 extra teams.
Okay.
It was only for a max of 2, though.
And that was before Texas.
That was before in Texas and Oklahoma. Okay. So now it would require an entirely new agreement that also would either increase or not dilute shares.
Right.
There is not a provision in the rights agreement to allow a 3rd or a 4th team prior to Texas and Oklahoma that would not at least put that in danger. And look, ESPN's probably doing a little better than they get headlines for all the time. But at the same time, there is a limit to what they can just spend on these rights agreements.
Well, they've lost a lot of money on other things. Now, they do make money off live sports.
And I do believe you're going to 9 conference games next season.
Well, and I was getting at, I do think that the SEC playing 8 conference games this year, and for whatever value you put in next year's schedule, I mean, it's 8 as of now.
Keith believes that's actually staying, by the way, for 25. Okay, he thinks 26 is when the 9 come in.
But the fact that they've done 8 this year, and if Keith's right, and I'll take his word over mine all day. If he says 8 next year, that is a degree of hardball. That is them telling ESPN, you want us to play non-conference games? We're gonna piss off our coaches. Coaches are going to lose a game.
Because that's the irony here. The ADs love the 9 games, and the coaches hate the 9 games.
Well, if I ask, pick your SEC coach. Pick one.
Elijah Drinkwitz.
Okay, I go to Elijah Drinkwitz and I go, hey, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You want to play Texas A&M or Dayton?
Yeah.
Toledo. Which one you want? You want Toledo or Texas A&M? You can go to College Station or you can play Toledo at home. Well, Eli, every single time, and this is who would blame him?
Yeah.
He would have 100% unanimity. Oh, we'll play Toledo. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
That's a W.
Yeah. Tell the Rockets we'll take care of them.
Yeah. Give them whatever. Bring them in. We'll beat them. I'll get my backups in, blah, blah, blah. As opposed to you go to Kyle Field, they're going to put that thing at 6:30 on ESPN. And good luck, bud. You can't hear shit. Good luck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get that. But the ADs look at it. If I ask an AD, hey, do you want
money?
Do you want Toledo in Missouri what's it called? Ferret Field?
Ferret Field.
You want Toledo or do you want Texas A&M? Oh, we'll take the Aggies. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
I can sell that. So, yeah. So I think that leverage is being used. I do think they're going to expand again. I just don't know who it's going to be. But listen, Tyler.
Yeah, connected. Sure.
Tyler's really connected. He knows a lot of people through what he does with QuickU, and he has some pretty prominent friends in the agent world. Yeah. And I'm certainly not questioning what he's hearing. I will just say if that comes to fruition, something changed in a year.
Sure.
And it could be ESPN just said that, yeah, we'll take them.
Yeah.
We're good. It could be as simple as that. I mean, ESPN versus Fox is
shaping up to be a haymaker.
I don't know that we in the media business are doing a good enough job of explaining to the public of how big of a rivalry that's about to be.
Well, I mean, you saw it when we went through the week by weeks. They even sort of gave the other league preference on some weeks and went, hey, that's theirs. We'll make sure we don't like. Some weeks was head to head, and some weeks went, hey, we're not screwing with that.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Fox was aware of when Alabama played Georgia and said, nope, I'm not going head to head with that.
Yeah, you're gonna win that one. We're gonna let you have it.
Yeah, but we got Oregon, Michigan. We're gonna go throw this in here.
But like the morning shows.
Oh yeah.
The Fox is going.
That's why there's pressure on game day to actually get better.
Yeah.
Because Big Noon Saturday's pretty good.
It's real good.
It's all right.
Yeah. So, and then you got this, Fox is doing this Saturday night thing where, for those of you who are NFL fans, you'll know exactly what it is, which is probably most people.
Yeah.
NBC does a phenomenal job with Sunday Night Football.
It is the game of the week. It's not Monday Night Football anymore. It's Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, it has become the
appointment television.
The big muscle-bound everybody,
team, schedule,
everything.
Production, everything. The lead-in. And good show.
Well, and because the games are over. I mean, like when that show starts, the games are just about over.
Uh-huh.
And so you got like this hour and 15-minute build-up, an hour of which is conducted with there's no games going on.
Yeah.
And so everybody goes over there. You've had all day in the NFL. So they've got games to talk about. They've got this big game to hype.
And you're kind of having dinner and it's on in the background and you're getting ready for the game.
You've poured yourself a beer or
whatever.
Yeah, you're ready to go.
An athletic brewery.
Yeah, see, there you go. And they're trying to do the exact same thing. And I use the word trying. I don't know if it'll be successful or not. They're going to try to do the same sort of production for Wisconsin, Penn State, for Michigan, Iowa on Saturday night. That it doesn't have the same thing to me, but I can tell you that ESPN/SEC is watching that closely. Because if it works, they'll have to do something very similar.
And ESPN and the SEC appear to be what they're partly doing is we're going to kick off 30 minutes early and take away your pregame show.
Right.
We're going to jump in and go ahead and start our game.
Yeah.
They're going to get invested in us, and they're going to have to change our channel.
Yeah, we're going to have 2 minutes left in the first quarter when your game kicks off.
Yeah.
We think if we put a good enough game in that spot,
they're already in.
They're not flipping.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are going to watch both.
Most people have their allegiances too.
Yeah, and they have. Yeah, if
you're watching your conference or your team,
if you live in
it's
the
still
South,
a geographical.
It is.
It's why I give the SEC ultimately the edge is that they have stayed true to a culture and geography.
Which is why, if you're the SEC, Florida State and Clemson don't make the sense that North Carolina and Virginia make, because North Carolina and Virginia allow you to expand your footprint. It's why if you're
matter? We were obsessed with that for so long.
Well, if you're geographic, it does.
But you can't get outside your footprint. I'm talking about geographic being central, staying in your culture and in your area.
Sure, but
relatability. And it's not like North Carolina and Virginia aren't. That's not my point.
Maybe they would fit in.
I'm just saying, like today's world, Rutgers never goes to the Big Ten. Nobody gives a damn about
of course.
TV markets.
But I will say this: it's why the Big Ten, I think, has interest in Florida State. Is it expands
to get into the South?
Yeah, it gets into their market.
Well, because it's the way they're going. They went out west. They just grabbed the best teams. They were just going, hey, let's just go grab people.
Well, because they're going to an NFL model.
So just get your people and figure it out.
The NFL's not really regional.
No.
I mean, not really. If you think about it, you don't.
The Saints were in the NFC West for a long time.
Yeah, well, I mean, my point is that people just watch the NFL.
Yeah. You don't go, oh, that's a Southern team.
Yeah, you have a team. Like, you're going to watch the Saints every week, but you don't be like, oh, it's not the Saints. I'm not watching the shit.
Yeah.
No. Like baseball, people are that way. Like, there are a lot of Braves fans, right? Who I'll watch the Braves. Do you watch anybody else? No. Not unless they're playing the Braves.
No, it's the ultimate regional sport.
Yeah. Astros fans, I watch the Astros. Rangers fans, I watch the Rangers. Dodgers fans, I watch the Dodgers.
Yeah.
NFL's gotten above that. And so Fox and ESPN are gambling that college football is going to stay above that too, where it's not going to be, I'm an Ole Miss fan, I just watch Ole Miss. No, you don't. If you're an Ole Miss fan, you watch everybody else too. For whatever reason, football's kind of gotten above that, but especially at the professional level. And they're trying to bring that same production level into this, and it's going to be quite the rivalry.
Oh, it's maybe the most underrated plot line for the season is how they manufacture all these things and what it looks like, how they promote it.
Oh,
what they push.
Like, I am curious, and I'm not a fan of the show, but I will watch it some this year to see whether ESPN Game Day, or whatever, college football game day, whatever they call it, I do think they have to make a shift. Like, I think they have to really incorporate Saban in a way that makes it entertaining, and I suspect that they will and that he will succeed at it.
Yeah.
But because without it, I do think you start losing some eyeballs to a better show.
Yeah. Podcast brought to you in part by Northeast Spark NESPARC. 2 packages, the Ignite, the 100 Mbps, or the Blaze. It's their 1 gig option, their fastest option available to you. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband. That's NESpark.com, 662-238-3159. Phone service, parental controls, network security, wireless mesh extender, those who need a little extra help, and more. Again, that's NESpark.com or 662-238-3159.
Southern Traditions Farm is a 68-acre, 32-stall upscale equestrian training and boarding facility in Canton, Mississippi. 2 sand rings, a grass ring, miles of wooded trails. There's a lot offered at Southern Traditions, from horseback riding offerings from beginner lessons to advanced to being able to compete in nationally recognized competitions. It's also a fantastic venue for corporate outings, events, things of that nature. So get in touch with them on Facebook or Instagram at Southern Traditions Farm. I'll have a mailbag to you hopefully tomorrow. It might be Thursday, but hopefully tomorrow. Brought to you by Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's to work for you as a licensed agent with Sotheby's International. Art Hayes can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. So call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or email art at arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com.
How big of a deal? My soccer question for you. I meant to have to talk about it more today, but we got other stuff. It's fine. We'll catch up. Is it a big deal to the U.S. if Canada gets into the final of this thing and Marsh is their coach?
Yes.
He wanted the U.S. job.
Badly.
It's a little weird.
It sucks.
Yeah.
And he takes Canada to the final?
I mean, already in the 4, so it already counts anyway.
Yeah,
it's not like they got to beat Argentina.
I was there when the U.S. got bounced. That was a lot of grumbling leaving Arrowhead Stadium.
Was that a pretty pissed off crowd?
Yes.
Similar to other sports that would be your hometown team loses?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the U.S. team should be better than that.
Just a little side note for people like me who don't follow soccer. Team USA for Paris was announced, but it's a young team. They have to be under 23
Under
years old,
23.
except for 3 players. So
Right.
it's not the same team going over there. I did not know that until this morning, so I'm letting everybody else know that now too.
Just watching the body chemistry on that team, they didn't need to play together.
Okay.
They need to shake it up. And look, he's done a remarkable job with the Canadian team because they're nowhere near as talented. You kept up with Cooper Flagg at all?
I read about that this morning. Apparently, he was getting lots of. He was on the select team that was scrimmaging Team USA for Paris, apparently he was doing some work.
He's the deal. He will raise the profile of college basketball by himself.
He's going to Duke.
Going to Duke.
He'll spend a year there.
He's from Maine.
He is
6'9", kind of baby-faced kid, born in 2006.
Was getting guarded by Drew Holiday yesterday and apparently wearing folks out.
Apparently, he cooked Drew Holiday some. Now, I'm sure Drew Holiday wasn't 100%.
It wasn't NBA Finals intensity for Drew, probably. But there is a pride that kicks in, though, is, hey, this 17-year-old is working here.
Well, when you hear all these different NBA people give him the kind of props they were giving him yesterday, it's like, whoa. Like, he has no fear. He doesn't back down. He belongs.
I mean, Jackson Davis, he's not afraid of anyone. He's going to go at you. And that was in a scrimmage yesterday.
Yeah.
They had a lead late in the game, the select team, which was other NBA players for the most part.
Yeah, and NBA teams they're feeling themselves out a little bit. Yeah. It's early.
I'm not making a lot out of that.
No, what I took from the Cooper Flagg stuff yesterday was there's a widely held perception that next year's draft is loaded and that he's the prohibitive favorite to go number one. And for him to go up against a bunch of NBA guys in Vegas in a practice deal, but to play the way that he played, it was a lot of confirmation for a lot of people who are like, man, this kid's the deal, huh? And he apparently is a potential superstar.
I'm interested to see him.
I mean, I'm in. Hey, listen, I'm so excited about Paul George leaving the Clippers. The Clippers may be falling apart. Who knows? Maybe the Clippers win the lottery. You know who owns the Clippers pick, right?
Do they really?
Oh, yeah.
Are you?
Oh, I'm so excited about the upcoming NBA season because my team's better, and the team that I need to lose is absolutely
tanking,
potentially a disaster. The Thunder have already gotten Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams out of the Paul George deal.
Uh-huh.
Paul George is gone. The Thunder own swap rights this year and in 27, and the Clippers pick in 2026. It might go down as the greatest trade in trade history.
Sam Presti is one of your favorite 4 people on earth. It's seriously it's as much as you hate some of the other people in the industry from a Cubs standpoint. Yeah. It's Presti. It's up there. I said this past year was maybe you're the best year because they're not there's no expectation. This coming one might actually be even better because you're good enough to win it, but you still are nowhere near your window.
Oh, no. Nowhere close.
So it's a free season that actually has expectations.
Well, here's the thing. It's funny because this is how Braves fans must feel.
Yeah. I
mean, you must feel this way. In the draft on Sunday, whoever the Braves take, you're like, yeah, it'll work out. There's no angst. The Thunder traded into the first round last 2 weeks ago, whatever that was. They traded 5 second-round picks. They didn't trade any of their first-round picks. And they drafted Dylan Jones out of Weber State. I'd heard people talking about him a little bit. And I was like, yeah, I just trust Sam. It'll probably work out.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, it'll be okay. When they took Topic at 10, I was like, sure. There's no angst. And I saw them the next day in the second round. There was a second round. It was more than just Bronny James, in case you were watching on television. They traded up 4 different times to get to 30-something, and they took the kid from A.J. Mitchell from Santa Barbara. And I was like,
okay.
Never heard of him, but sure. It's probably going to work out. It's just total faith. By the way, if you're a Grizzlies fan, last night was encouraging.
Edey looked good.
He looked great.
Yeah, it's Summer League game, but yeah, he looked good.
I think you can take some things from Summer League.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he's not getting you 14 and 15 a night in Memphis day one, but
Not just a tall guy, though.
no, there's that we talked about this with Jeffrey that when the draft happened. There's this this is a media thing, stubborn media narrative of because a handful of people decide that somebody is something, that's what they are. I think Edey's a much better potential NBA player than he's getting credit for. And I think you saw some of that last night.
We got like 5 minutes left. I'm going to play a game with you real quick.
All right.
I saw this yesterday. Major League Baseball All-Star Game announcements and all that stuff. Got the Home Run Derby announcements come out yesterday. Each Major League team got here, and I don't know how we're going to do it. I'm going to let you just grab a couple, see if you get them right. Because you watch more baseball than I do, even though it's less than usual.
I hadn't watched much at all.
Top position player or starting pitcher. I'll give you either one for every team who is leading them in WAR for the season. So theoretically, the best player or pitcher on every team.
Okay.
Got me?
Yeah.
Baltimore Orioles. This might be one of the few I actually could have swept position player, starting pitcher, and reliever. Because I like the Orioles a lot. Yeah. All the college players and Adley Rutschman and the whole deal.
I was going to say Rutschman, but he's been hurt, so it's not him.
No, it's maybe the star of baseball right now, young guy that everybody's talking about. Gunnar Henderson.
Okay.
Corbin Burns and Craig Kimbrell. So those three, I think I could have gotten all of them.
Stands to reason Kimbrell goes to Baltimore and figures it out. Sure.
The Royals.
Bobby Witt Jr.
That's correct.
Stud.
Yes, that's correct. Yankees. Don't overthink it.
No, Juan Soto.
Nope. Don't overthink it. Hits a lot of home runs.
Yeah. I just can't think of his name right now.
Aaron Judge.
Thanks.
Dodgers.
Oh.
Speaking of Tyler Glass now, he is their top pitcher.
Okay, yeah. Mookie Betts?
Nope.
It's not Shohei either, right?
It is Shohei.
Shohei, okay.
8.7 already. No, sorry, it's a team. Shohei, though, 5. He already has 5 for the season.
Wow.
Yeah. Phillies.
Kyle Schwarber.
Bryce Harper.
Oh.
3.9.
That's the reason. Stud.
Boston.
I don't know.
Jarren Duran. Reds.
Oh, Ellie De La Cruz.
Fun. Fun player. So fun.
Fun player.
Yeah. Great guy.
The Reds are kind of fun. They're not very good this year, but they're fun.
Guardians.
I just saw them. Is it the third baseman?
I'll be honest, I have no idea what position he plays.
What's his name?
Stephen Kwan.
No, he's their leadoff hitter. He plays.
Okay.
Yeah.
Twins.
I don't know.
Carlos Carrera.
Okay. Good for him.
Braves.
Ooh.
He's in the home run derby.
All right, name's escaping me.
Marcelo Ozuna.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Chris Sale, by the way, their top pitcher.
How's Ozuna get the free pass that he gets, by the way?
Yeah, completely. Just that he plays in Atlanta. It helps.
Okay.
You're not in a major media market.
Because he kind of gets a free pass.
Oh, yeah. No. He's just, it's whatever. Detroit. I would have no idea.
I don't know.
Riley Green.
Okay.
Giants.
No clue.
Matt Chapman.
Oh, good for him.
Padres.
Tatis.
Profar.
Okay.
By the way, the subject of multiple really good John Boy videos in the last week.
Jerks and Profar?
Yeah, including the one with the getting thrown at after hitting the home run the day before. It's like a 12-minute video, but it's absolutely worth the watch.
Okay.
It's hilarious. Yeah, it's really, really, really good.
He's John Boy's great.
Oh, it was that's one of his better ones that's come through. Brewers, your favorite player?
Oh, Christian
Yelich. Diamondbacks.
What is Yelich's WAR?
3.1.
How?
I don't know. Just reading the list.
Who'd you say? Diamondbacks?
Yep.
Corbin Carroll?
Marte.
Oh.
St. Louis.
Goldschmidt.
Wilson Contreras.
Jesus.
I was waiting to get to that one.
Good for him.
Mariners, Josh Rojas, whatever.
Paul
DeJong, White Sox.
They're horrible.
Nationals.
I don't know.
C.J. Abrams. Mets. Francisco
Lindor, yeah.
Rangers.
I don't know.
Josh Smith.
I wouldn't have gotten that.
Astros. It's not Altuve.
Bregman?
Nope.
Oh, the outfielder.
Yep.
The right. I can't.
Yep.
Think.
Kyle Tucker.
Kyle Tucker.
Rays.
No idea.
Isaac Paredes.
Oh, yeah. Infielder.
Cubs. Can you get all three?
Well, it's Shota Imanaga.
That's correct.
Ian Happ.
Nope.
Oh, is this so reliever and position player?
Yep.
God, their relief.
Your reliever is only 0.7.
Yeah, their relief has been awful. I have no idea. Offensive player, I guess, would be Seiya Suzuki.
Michael Bush. Mark Leiter Jr. is your reliever.
Okay.
Oakland.
No clue. Oh, the pitcher. The reliever is the Mason Miller.
Mason Miller. That is correct. Brent Rooker is their hitter.
Have you watched Miller pitch?
No.
He's electric.
Let's see. Rockies, Brenton Doyle. Pittsburgh.
Well, it's our boy, number one.
But who's the position player? He's an all-star.
The third baseman.
Brian Reynolds.
Oh, okay, Reynolds. I was going to say Hayes.
Yeah. Angels.
No idea. They just pitched. I mean, here's the Angels just played the Cubs last week. I didn't watch a pitch.
Yeah, Logan O'Hoppe, and then Miami is Jazz Chisholm, who's been there.
Yeah, supposedly they're trading Chisholm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they should.
Baseball's lost a lot for me, man. As I've gotten more into the NFL, and I'm really into the NBA, and now I like soccer, it's kind of the sport that's fallen off.
You only have so much.
You only have so many hours in your day.
You only have so much.
Like the people the Jeffrey Wrights of the world, I don't know how they do it. And that's not a criticism. I don't know how you do it.
He has to talk on radio 4 hours a day.
I probably follow more news than he does.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, sure.
And I follow court stuff. Like Grind says the judge in the Young Thug case has finally put himself under review. He says,
has he really?
He and the attorneys for the state met with YSL Woody in his chambers after he refused to testify without Young Thug's lawyers' knowledge.
Oh, wow.
They're going to release the transcripts.
Wow.
And then
Big day.
The Karen Reed case yesterday was pretty interesting. Some of the stuff that came out with the jury. The jury had a unanimous verdict on 2 of the 3 counts. And the judge let it go hung.
Oh, really?
They were only at a dispute over the second charge, the manslaughter charge, the involuntary manslaughter charge. I don't know what prison term that would have been, but they were unanimous, not guilty on
the other ones,
the other 2, leaving the scene, and then obviously second-degree murder. She didn't let those verdicts, and those were verdicts, she didn't let those verdicts get entered in.
Because it wasn't all 3.
Because all 3.
Wow.
And so her attorneys are disputing that, saying 2 of these 3 charges should be gone.
They should be dropped because it wasn't.
If you want to retry her, you should only be able to retry her on
manslaughter.
Involuntary manslaughter.
Right. Interesting.
Because the jury didn't reach a verdict on that. They were split.
Yeah, sure.
Leaning towards guilt.
Yeah.
But not unanimous.
Wow. Okay.
Fascinating.
Yep. We'll update you on our schedule as time goes on for the rest of the week.
Grind mentions the Josh Hendrickson show. He and I will be taping that on Friday.
Okay.
I'll be out of town
the next 2 days.
Most of the next 48 hours. I've got to go to Brandon tonight for the state All-Star game, and then Carson's got something tomorrow that I need to be with him at, and then on Thursday I've got a meeting somewhere, and so I'll get back and
we'll go from there. Yeah. Neal's in Dallas next week. So podcasts, different things, content, all with the rebelgrove.com in the meantime. And we'll talk to you again soon.